My name's Steve McQueen. I'm a director of Hunger. I directed and co-wrote the script within the Walsh. Yeah, that's me.
It is your debut feature film, Steve, and to be congratulated for it, because it's one of the most extraordinary films, not just of this year, but of any year that I've ever seen. Did you know, when you were making it and writing it, that it would be so unusual in its structure and in its techniques?
Yes and no, not really, I'll be honest with you, because it's one of those things where if I ever thought it would have been sort of unusual, I possibly wouldn't have done it. It was one of those situations where I just was thinking of looking at the material and thinking of what would be the best way to translate this on screen, what would be the best way to visualize these images, this story, and that was it. So for me, it was not particularly extraordinary or different. It was all about the language of the story.
Yeah, I confess that I'd kind of forgotten him. You know, even in all the 80s nostalgia
Sure.
waves that happened, you know, Duran Duran, Spandau Ballet,
Okay.
Ricky Villa, but Bobby Sands coming back was when I heard that you were doing a film. I was like, yeah, whatever happened to that?
27 years,
27 years.
swept under the carpet. Absolutely. And, you know, wanting to sort of re-examine that. I mean, we started before Guantanamo Bay, we started before Abu Ghraib, you know, these two sort of events which happened, in a way, and it was just one of those situations where I felt very strongly about it. And at the end of the day, I wanted to make a film which was essential. Why make a film? Why spend 5 years of your life doing something if it isn't necessary? And that's what I wanted to do. This is why I wanted to make this film. Because how do you shoot someone lying in a bed for 20 minutes? This person has made his mind up. We've exhausted everything. We've exhausted the physical. We've exhausted language. And now it's the body's on its last legs. One of the shots that really sort of says it all for me is when Michael's lying on the bed out of focus, and then all of a sudden this thing comes flying in front of the frame. It's almost, for me, it's almost like the weight, a scale, and that was it really. It's weird how that could actually be heavier than Michael in that way. It's just somehow that was it for me, and I don't know. And of course, going on into the film, how we shot it in some ways, it was all about Michael really. And what was so beautiful about that, I'll be honest, was that Michael obviously lost a lot of weight. He fasted, he lost quite a bit of weight. And for me, the intimacy with myself and Michael was extraordinary, because for me, I got to know him more than I would ever get to know him in any other way. And to have that situation with him was quite wonderful. So in some ways, he and his body, of course, dictated in some ways how we shot. And it was all about how the muscle that actually he lost. He has a hardly any fat in his body, a lot of muscle that he lost, and just shooting it in a way that could be sort of dignified, but at the same time very sort of subtle.
Yes, and there's a great control there. I've talked to Michael about the control, the physical, technical control that he have over limbs and chest and lungs. That it required a control from you as a director, I should imagine.
Much more careful shooting, much more careful, because also how long can he? You only can have him. I mean, how long can Michael before he gets irritated? You have to you have to be very careful. It's like an operation in that way. Before he gets irritated, you've got to get the shots.
Yeah. I wonder, given that the first part of the film is so brutal, why the treatment of Bobby Sands is so much more gentle as he's dying. They seem to sort of take care of him only in death.
I think what the question you're picking up is humanity. I mean, again, it's one of those things where, someone's ill, you want to look after them. You could do the best you can for them. I mean, that's what it is. I think we're all sort of linked, obviously, in one way, shape, form, or the other, and it's a person dying. I mean, someone walking into film then, it's a person dying, and that's very powerful, of course, and obviously that can actually challenge people's perceptions and opinions.
I thought the film might be more poisonous to people. I thought it might be more controversial. I thought people would want to touch it, like the political hot potato that it might be. But I've been delighted and surprised by its reception from not just critics and the establishment, but the audiences as well.
I mean, this movie is an object, because what this movie has done is it became almost like a thermometer to test the temperature of the climate in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and in the UK as such, whole UK. That's what this film has done, and that's what's been done, because everyone was scared before about the movie and what could possibly happen or what could happen, even when we went in the premiere in Belfast. So this movie is more than a film, and you hate it or love it, I don't care. What it's actually done is it's become a sort of a real kind of object to sort of test the situation, what's going on out there. Mm-hmm. And I'm, you know, as a movie, if you could do that, to be a part of a situation that could actually help, or a part of a situation that can actually bring some sort of idea or understanding to what's going on now, then great, fantastic.
Where do you see this film in 25 years, when people don't know Bobby Sands anymore, when maybe the troubles have receded, let's hope, further away, no one's going to forget, mm-hmm. but that another generation has come on. Will they understand this film?
Well, hopefully what people are reacting to it now, that they're astonished it ever happened in the first place. You know, that 10 people, you know, died through not eating to get prisoner of right status. I mean, you know, the fact that young people are out there in the streets protesting with what happened in Cuba, what happened in Iraq, brilliant. But when they don't even know what happened in their own backyard 27 years ago, I think that's important to sort of talk about and important to make a film about it, really.
My fear is that people will still be imprisoning people somewhere on this earth, and there will be guards, there will be prisoners, there will be protests.
Just like when we started the movie, when there was no Guantanamo Bay and no Abu Ghraib. So it's crazy. It's crazy. That's what happens, I suppose. Yeah.
Congratulations on
Cheers.
Hunger.
Thank you very much.